Okay guys, hi and welcome back. Today I'm deciding to repair my dryer. So for the last month it's been squealing super loud as it turns. So super annoying. After doing a little bit of research, it's just the rear bearing kit. I got mine on Amazon for 22 bucks. So a Frigidaire. I found the part number and everything. If you go into the front access, right here, I found the sticker. Has my serial number right on there. So I went ahead and just looked up the part kit. I bought it for 22 bucks on Amazon. So pretty inexpensive repair. Looks like it's only going to take me maybe a half hour to get this thing back up and running. So I'll show you what the kit looks like. Here's what I got. Came in a little box. It comes with everything that we're going to need. We have a new belt. We have the rear ball. This is going to go onto the back of the drum, and it's going to set into our rear bearing, which is right here. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and walk you through how we're going to do this. Okay, first off, all we're going to need is, come right over here, a couple tools. I have an 8mm ratchet, a flathead, and a Phillips screwdriver. That's all we're really going to need. So step one is going to be to take off the top panel. So you can literally grab and pull super tight and it will come up. It's only held on by a few clips. If it's a little too tight, grab your flathead and just give it a little pop. The top panel here is only held on by a couple push clips right here. So we are on a hinge in the back. So what I am going to do, hinge it all the way open, and if you just lift it up and give it a little pull, it'll slide right off. We're going to set it back down out of the way. Perfect. Next we are going to take our Phillips screwdriver. We're going to come around to the back of the dryer here, and in the lower left corner we have two screws. This is our rear access panel. What we're going to do here is take these two screws out, and we want to remove the belt. So I'm going to go ahead and pop these out. Once the two screws are out, it'll just hinge open a little bit and slide off, exposing these two tabs here. So I'm going to go ahead and set that off to the side. If you want to take a look here inside the dryer, this is where our belt is. So this L shape, this is our pre-tensioner. So all we have to do is actually push it towards the center of the dryer. You can see it's got a big long spring right there. It just releases the tension on the belt. So we pull it over and we just pop the belt right off. That's all we're going to need to do. Okay, so what I like to do, instead of pulling the whole top completely off, I go ahead and I just turn it sideways, and I'm going to hang it on the back of the dryer here. That's just going to give me access to the drum and everything I need. As you can see, the belt is nice and loose. Next, we're going to want to remove the front panel, which is the whole front panel. It's only held on by a couple of screws. We have one right here, and then it just has these push clips that hold it in. So I'm going to go ahead and remove those guys now, and then we should be able to access the front panel here. I recommend using gloves when you do this, just for the simple fact that everything on these dryers is really sharp. Loose, now we're just so now that we have those screws, all we have to do is what I'm going to do, you could take this off if you wanted to. You can take out the internal light and the little button. Again, I'm just going to slide it open and set it aside. All we need to do is be able to access the drum. Next, we're ready to slide the whole drum out. We're going to want to remove the front drum support. This is just a little Teflon piece that rides the edge of the drum. Once we have that removed, we're going to go ahead and put it aside. Now we're just going to lift up on the drum itself here. We're going to put our hand down here to give it a little bit, and then we're going to pull up in the back. It should slide right off here. Perfect. Now we're going to just use the belt as a harness to hold. We're going to slide the drum right on out. We're going to go ahead and slide the drum out. There we go. Perfect. Now once we have the drum out, go ahead and put it aside. Next, we need to just start with the replacement. So I'm going to go ahead and start by replacing the bushing. So if you bring it in here and take a look, this is the worn out bushing causing all that squeaking ruckus. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the 2 screws and pull this thing off. All right, so now what we're going to do, and this might be a good time to point out, while you have this thing exposed, look at all this lint and everything that's just been gathering. This would be the opportune time to clean out all of this lint and everything that has just built up over the years. So yeah, perfect. With this front being exposed, you can actually see this is where the lint trap is. All of this, there is a ton of lint in here. This would be a great time to clean all of this out. If yours looks like mine, this has not been maintained very well. There is a lot of lint in here, in excess amount. So as you can see, I would recommend cleaning all of this out. All right, so now what we're gonna do is take off with our 8mm the rear bearing here, just the 2. And 2. There's a metal retaining plate and a ball bearing on the back of this. The bearing actually just fell out. It's right here. You're going to want to make sure not to lose this because you are going to have to transfer it into the new seat on the other one. Alrighty, so now what I want to do is on the back of the drum here, we have 3 screws. Those screws are going to release the rear ball. So that's what we're taking off here. This is what sits into that white plastic guide. So come back around over here. I'm going to go ahead and remove the 3 screws. Okay, so we want to remove the 3 screws in the back here. I actually had to change my screwdriver because the Phillips for mine was a little too small. So you can go ahead and 1. That's 2, and we're just going to go ahead and take off the last one here. Reach around the back while I unscrew this so I don't drop it. And the rear ball has been removed. If you want the screw being stubborn, doesn't want to come out. Okay, hang on to the 3 screws. And here's the rear ball that we now took off. All right, so here's the kit that we just removed. You can see how worn out and old this thing is looking. We have the new kit, comes with everything here, including the belt, the high temperature lubricant, the new bearing, and everything that we're going to need. So now let's go ahead and start this process in reverse. Okay, we have the new ball. It came with 3 new screws. So all we're going to do is set this onto the back of the drum, and we are going to reach our hands on the inside here. And we're going to go ahead and start with the top one just to hold this thing in place. So we'll go ahead and put the screw in here. Easier said than done. All right, there we go. I'm going to go ahead and put the screwdriver on here to hold it in place while I set this up. My arms aren't long enough to go all the way around, so there we go. Once we get the first one in, the next 2 should be pretty easy to line up. You're going to want to leave the first screw a little bit loose so you can line up the next 2, and then we'll just go in order, tightening them all up. All right, and then the second one here. We'll go ahead, hold you there. Line up the holes and thread you in there. Cool. We got one more, and then our ball will have been replaced. Awesome. So yeah, as you can see, we have the new ball put right on the back of the drum. So yeah. Okay, next what we're going to want to do is install the rear bearing itself. So we're going to take the lube, the high temp lube that it came with, and we're going to turn this upside down. We're going to put some lube right on the back there, and that's where we're going to place our bearing. Once we have that lube in there, that's going to help actually support and hold the bearing in while we put this back on. So go ahead and slide the screws in to this retainer here. Alrighty. So that's what we have. We need to reach around the back at the same time, and that's how we're going to screw all this together. This plate here has dimples on the back edge. Dimples are going to go face out. So when we put this on the back of the dryer, they're going to go face out. We're going to tighten this all up. Okay, we're going to go ahead and insert the bearing right into the back panel here. We're just going to slide it on in. And then on the back side here, I'm going to go ahead and set my mounting plate. If you can get the camera about over here. Yep, we're just going to set the back plate here, and we're going to tighten everything up. Okay, we're just going to go ahead and tighten that up. So again, just the 8mm. I'm going to go ahead, while I'm in here, just tighten this down. And we're just going to go ahead and tighten this down. So what I like to do is just tighten one pretty snug, and then when I get to the other one, do the same thing just so it sets in there evenly. Go ahead. Try not to drop your tools, but yeah, just snug each side up, kind of go back and forth just until it's nice and tight and torqued down. So there we go. Right. So now that we have the rear bearing replaced, we're just going to go ahead and squeeze the rest of the lube here down into this channel. That's where the ball's going to sit, so we just want to make sure and get it all in there. Okay, next what we're going to want to do is take our new belt out of the package, and we're just going to wrap it around the drum. Now the ribs always go facing down, obviously. You don't want the slick side facing down. Ribs down. All right, now that we have that on there, we're going to attempt to slide this bad boy back in. So we're going to use a belt as kind of a guide, and we're going to just line it up and slide it back in. All right, we got to lift up, push, pull. There we go. Now, once we do get this thing into the back, we are going to want to line the ball up with that bearing. So we will have to pull up a little bit, set it in, and drop it. Now that it's in, work in the lube a little bit, just like so. Give it a couple turns, and that is where it's going to sit. Okay, so next we're going to reattach the belt underneath. Again, I'm just going to set the top back up just so it's out of my way, and I have access to my back panel now. So just like we did when we took it apart, we are going to take our tensioner. We're going to push it towards the center of the dryer, and we're going to place the belt along the top edge. The reason we do that is that's where it gives us our tension. Set it back around the shaft like so and release. And as you can see, the belt is now on. Again, the belt rides along the top edge of the tensioner, down underneath the shaft, back up. So now we have the belt reattached. Now that the belt is back on, we can button up the back access cover here. We don't need to be in the back anymore. Go ahead and replace the two screws. Thank you. Tighten these up. Okay, I'm going to just slide this out of the way a little bit, because now we're going to go ahead and reattach the front cover. So, in order to do that, I didn't take it all the way apart, so we're just going to swing it back closed. Alrighty, now we may have to just lift up on the front of the drum a little bit to get this all to slide back together. like so. Line up the clips and pop it back in. Awesome. One more for this side. Alrighty. And then we're going to go ahead and put the 2 screws back into the front. Okay. This is where you don't want to drop these bad boys, because now the front panel is going back on. So I recommend tighten them by hand as much as you can, and then screw them in, because if you drop it in there, you're gonna have to pop it all back apart to retrieve these screws. So go ahead and set this one in here, just like so. And again, you have made sure to unplug this before you have done anything to it, because you don't want to mess around with the dryer that is plugged in. It will hurt you. Okay, this one's in. Again, I was just trying to be careful not to drop the screw, because I don't want to have to pop this thing back apart to retrieve anything. All right, we're looking good there. Next, we just want to put that front drum cover back on and screw it in place. Okay, now before I put the top panel back on and we finish this project up, you can see the belt isn't lined up where it used to be. So I want to give it a couple turns. I mean, it'll work its way there, but you can see as I turn the drum, it's lining itself right back up to where it used to be. I like to just do that before we fire it up, turn it on and let the machine do it. Roll it by hand just to get that back into the groove. That way it doesn't jump or slip or give you any issues with the belt. So, and this has helped seating in that bearing grease that we had. So now all we have left to do is twist this top panel back around and put it on. So again, we have the 2 hinges. Sort of throughout the video, I've been moving the top up to the back, depending on if I needed access to anything. So go ahead, slide it back onto the hinges, just like so. And then we're going to go ahead and just tilt it on down. And we are done. Okay, so yeah, once we pop the top on, we're done. So I hope this was helpful. It's a very easy fix for this issue. So yeah, please like and subscribe, and I'll keep giving you more fix-it videos. Thanks for tuning in.